Wow. Uh, let's just say I was not expecting a reaction like that. I was not expecting 17,000 views and counting. Um, I when I made that video, I'd just woken up and I read the article and I was going to post a status on Facebook. And I was like, man, this is going to be really long-winded. And I had just a bunch of stuff to say off the top of my head, so I just recorded the video. I did not think in any way that it would start to get people's attention, on YouTube, and I had 17,000 views. And I was trying to keep up with the comments, but there's just too many of them. And so I figured I needed to make a second video to kind of follow up with some of those comments and some of the things that have been brought up since then. First of all, he didn't do the interview with Ultimate Guitar. He did a interview with Rick Beato, and Ultimate Guitar just, went in and transcribed and grabbed the part that they thought was going to be, juicy, which was the whole, well, we don't make any money, and gave it, a super clickbaity, headline, which was kind of shitty. And since doing some research since then, Misha wasn't happy about it, and I understand, but that's just the nature of media these days. You say something, that's going to grab people's attention, and they just, they go for it. So anyways, I have since went and watched the full interview that he did with Rick, and it was interesting. It was cool. Like I said, I'm not really like a fan of Periphery, so I don't really know much about Misha, other than, I've heard his name, whatever, and I know that, associated with the band. So I just wanted to clear up a few things that have been in the comments. First of all, I never said he was broke. He never said he was broke. He said that Periphery, the entity Periphery, doesn't affect his finances. His money comes from outside sources. And that sucks. And I still stand by that, and I still do believe that a lot of that has to do with record sales, and I'll get to that in a little bit. My one point that I would want to make back to Misha is that he has to understand that he is a special talent, and not every guitar player is gonna have a signature guitar and signature pickups and a signature head and have all these other ways to make money. So it's unique in that fact, and it sounds like he just kind of conceded to the fact that they weren't going to sell a ton of records and they weren't going to make money off of records, and so he figured out early on that he had to make his money in other ways, which was smart on his behalf. But for me, I think the music has to be enough. I'm good friends with a rock band, and they have this, it's just a straightforward rock and roll, 3-chord sound. Super radio friendly, catchy hooks, 3-chord rock. And there's a sweet science to doing that and doing it well. And in my opinion, these guys do it really well. So, their guitar player, he isn't writing these crazy riffs that are going to blow people's minds that are, that then becomes this machine to, have this, signature guitar or whatever. So for this band in particular, the music should be enough. You shouldn't have to rely on all these outside ways to make money. So in that regard, I mean, Misha is taking advantage of his talents, which, is smart on his end, but that's not going to be a viable option for everybody. And, could you imagine the guitar market if there was 5,000, 10,000 signature guitars for every guitar player in every band? So that's just, while it works for him, it doesn't work for everybody. And so I still just stand by the fact that, it's plummeting album sales are a very, very big part of this problem. Another part of the problem is that touring is really expensive. I've kind of figured out from the comments that a lot of people just have no idea how the music business works. They have no idea what they're talking about. All these people in the comments, oh, well, Misha's got, you know, all these guitars and they're like talking about his gear. It's called endorsements, okay? So here's how this works. There's some custom shop guitar player, some custom Luther, and he sells guitars that are, you know, they sell for $5,000. Oh, well, Misha's got these $5,000 guitars. Okay, well, that Luther probably has, you know, $2,000 into the guitar. So he's going to come to Misha and he's going to give Misha that guitar. He's going to eat that $2,000 in the hopes of all these other guitar players see him playing that guitar, and then they come and buy the guitar because they want the guitar that Misha's, you know, because obviously he's badass. So if he's playing this, that's how fucking endorsements work. So he eats the $2,000 in the hopes of selling 10 of those guitars. Thus profit. So don't give me this, oh, he's got all this gear, because he probably didn't fucking pay for half of it. And if he did, he probably paid cost or a steep discount. That's how endorsements work. Or he borrows a guitar from a friend. He's obviously been in the music business for a long time. He knows a lot of people. He's a big name. The guys trade gear back and forth. Hey, this Luther gave me this guitar. Here, cool, you check it out for a little while. So get that shit out of here. Another part that I want to bring up is... and this is going to be the bulk of the argument. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, you know, CDs are just, the way the CD is gone, the way the CD is dead, you know, it's all about streaming. Streaming is bad news. For artists, streaming is terrible news. For the consumer, it's great. And so I don't have a Spotify account, so I had to look up whatever, and you know, it's $10 a month and it's just unlimited. You can just pull up, oh, this band, and there you have all their albums. Yeah, that's extremely convenient for the consumer, and it is an absolute disaster for an artist. Especially when you go and you look and you find out that Spotify pays 0.00397 cents per stream. So in order for the band to make $1, that's 252 streams. So then I looked up, Periphery's entire catalog is 70 songs. So if in the morning you wake up and you put on their entire catalog and you listen to all 70 songs, congratulations, the band has made 27 cents. I'll throw this this link to this article down below. I found the report from the music year 2017. The U.S. recorded music market generated $8.7 billion last year. $5.7 billion of that went to streaming services. 65%. Ad-supported streaming is up 222%. Streaming as a whole is up 43%. Total digital download revenues, like iTunes, down 25%. Physical copies, physical units, is down 9%. A lot of people have mentioned, and I was aware, vinyl is up 9%, contributing $389 million. But obviously $389 million compared, you know, to the total, you know, $8.7 billion, that's a speck. But it is a glimmer of hope that there are still people out there that want a tangible product. There are still people out there that want to see the artwork. And I feel the same way. I mean, when I say, you know, buy physical copies, I buy physical copies. I want to see the artwork, man. I want to see, because if you're a fan of that band, if you're a fan of those guys, you know, not only did that band sit down and write the music, But then they sat down and recorded. Well, then, it comes time to put the album out. They got to put together the artwork. So these guys put thought, they put time into all this shit. They want you to see it. And I said, don't go buy just the single off iTunes, buy the album. When you listen to an album, those songs are in a certain order for a reason, to give the album a feel and a flow. So if you just go listen to one or two songs, you're kind of missing the feeling of the album. So there's all this time and all this effort that's put into this product that seemingly the consumer just doesn't give a fuck about. And that sucks. That sucks. As a musician, as somebody that's been in bands, that's put in that time and put in that effort to see consumers, just not give a shit, that really sucks. That's the streaming. I mean, as I read these numbers, that's disaster. That is absolute disaster. So, if you have Spotify and you think that listening to their entire catalog is only worth 27 cents, and you feel fine, if you can sleep at night on that, that's fine. I'm not gonna have a Spotify account. I'm okay with that. I'm going to continue to buy physical copies of records for as long as they make them, I mean, at one point they transitioned from cassettes to CDs, right? And cassettes just went out of existence. So until they come up with another, physical medium, I'm going to stick to buying albums. And I think you should too. Thanks for watching.